Welcome to another episode of Getting Real in the Field, where we help your life more easier to do less things that you guys suck at. So, with Kay and JP Fluellen, so we can help you guys do more follow-up, be more active, and spend less time in front of your CRM and more time in the field. So today we're going to talk about being more productive and choosing the right marketing company to be more effective with your dollars. So, Kit, tell us a little bit about this.
Boy, there's a lot to consider. So actually, I was going to ask you that question. Looking around for a marketing company, I will say that in terms of what you want to do from a marketing perspective, there's a couple of things that I would look for. First, you want to look at, are the people that you're in the marketing firm, are they, do they have the experience in real estate, first and foremost? If they don't, real estate marketing is one of the hardest areas to do marketing in. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree because, you're already niched down before you even start.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
a lot of your traditional marketing or, marketing firms typically are trying to just get you a broad audience to get eyeballs on what you're doing. Whereas in real estate, you're already got to be able to be pre-approved. You already are looking at houses. You already want to take action. And now what you're really marketing is use me versus my competition. Like that's really what you're, and because that audience is already pretty narrow, like it takes quite a bit to be creative to get more people to choose you over the 5 realtors they already know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'll share with you my experience, even hiring marketers myself on my team. When you are doing marketing, and I've got so many experienced people coming in and say, oh yeah, I can do marketing. I can help you with this. I want to join your team and I'll be a part of it. Right. And one of the things I look for is like, do you have experience in real estate? Because, like you said, I'll give you my experience personally too. Doing marketing for, let's say, a product like flooring that I've done before. Man, I can sell that like every day till sundown kind of thing, right? Whereas in real estate, it's a big, you've got to do retargeting. You've got to come up with a strategy that makes the entire customer, the customer lead journey super smooth, and it's got to be consistent. Your messaging has to align to, the customer experience, to the forms on your website, things like that. If it doesn't, it breaks completely down. And if you really think about it, like buying a house is obviously the biggest purchase that you will ever make in your life, right? As a lead. And so people are super picky. It's going to take a long time, for them to make up their minds. They're going to go shopping. Are you the agent to work with? How do you convince them? And so it takes a while to kind of build that pipeline, that sales pipeline in marketing. So you need somebody who does know about real estate marketing. That's my first tip.
Yeah, I mean it's top of funnel, right? So you gotta have your biggest audience first, and then from your biggest audience, you've got to go to the next audience, which is, hey, I raise my hand. I don't know that I'm interested, but I like what you're doing online, right? So then that's your next level, and then from there, it's, yeah, I don't like you. So then, but then the other people are like, but I do like you. And so now you're split test.
Cut it down. Yeah.
Chop it down again. And you're like, I'd sell for the right price, or I'd buy if we're a good fit. Right. So then you got the next level, and then it's, hey, I'm open to a conversation. I don't know that I want to buy yet, but I am open to a conversation. So that's the next level. And I think a lot of agents they get fatigued when they do marketing too, because they don't understand that there's a process to it. They think it's just, you throw a bunch of money at it and then it sticks to somebody. And then they're like, hey, let's go buy a house right now.
Yeah.
And So, and that is the way you capture leads that you own, like they're your leads, right? Now, the downside is that human nature is I'm online and I'm on social and I'm clicking on everything and I'm filling out lead forms and lead capture forms and then they're like, oh, I didn't really know that somebody was going to actually reach out to me. And I'm like, dude, you typed it in,
Put your
or
name in there.
you put your name out there. What was the what did you expect? You know, like I downloaded a free PDF or whatever it is. Like, and of course now a lot of the marketers are starting to get more creative than that, and they're trying to do free content and things like that. And then there's a sale type, capture on the back end. But it's all a funnel, right? You're trying to funnel people into an activity. So there's different various ways to do that. So you could do a Facebook ad with a link to an evaluation, which is the kind of the staple way of doing things. There's, download this free 7 secrets on how to, sell your home quickly. And then
Right.
on the back end of that, you're like, here's a webinar that teaches you how to sell your house on your own. And then
Right.
of course
Yeah.
that goes into ultimately nobody wants to sell their house on their own. You need to hire a realtor. That's the ultimate webinar, right? Or
Exactly.
the buy side, it's here's, tips on how to get, find the right lender and, work with good agents because, you want to interview 1 to 3 agents, right? And give out some really good content and say, well, what kind of a realtor is going to be the person that's going to say use other realtors? The realtor you probably want to use, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it works. It's and a lot of it's psychology too. And and we get so caught up into doing what everyone else is doing and we're not standing apart. So, the shift now is let's just market with video and do it that way. And so that your audience can really capture what it is that who you are as a person and be like, that dude is somebody I want to work with because he has a podcast and he's awesome and great hat and beard. So definitely need to use that guy. Like that's how people learn who you are, and
Yeah.
want to work with real people. And a lot of times, you don't get that in a lot of the ads that you're running. And a lot of marketers don't think like real estate agents because they're thinking in acquisition of a customer rather than teaching them where you're at as the client. The client wants to know, who am I going to hire? Static items don't necessarily give you who you're going to be working with. And at the end of the day, like as much as the industry is trying to change it, they're working with people and we want to work with people. We don't want to work with a website to buy a house. We don't want to work with a robot. We want to actually interact and be able to ask questions. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like that's never going to be replaceable. Like you can't have a database that's natural enough to where they're going to know every single scenario because there's always weird questions that come up because every area is different and every area has different cultures and different things that we have to deal with that are unique to our area. And a robot doesn't know that.
Yeah. And so you bring up a good point. So the second thing I look for in a company as well too is like, do they have experience not only just in the real estate part, like, but then do they build a campaign that represents your brand? I've seen so many marketers out there constantly, like just doing a cookie cutter, stock pictures, stock videos, doesn't even represent you. They don't even know you. And they just say, oh yeah, I can do, and you get these, what I call yahoos who just watch on Facebook or watch on YouTube and say, and for like a video and it's like, oh, I can do Facebook ads, of course, and then they kind of slap a couple of things and do something generic and doesn't represent your brand. And marketing is about building your brand image, right? And you want to draw people, like what you're just saying is that you want people to come in to know, hey, I like working with JP. He's pretty cool. I love the beard and I love his cap, you know? and therefore I'm going to hang out with you. I think you could represent me, man.
Yeah. Hey,
Right?
man, let's
So
do this. Get it
so
going right now.
that's something that to look for. It's like, are they going to spend the time to get to know you, and interview you and build a campaign that's relevant to you? I mean, you and I have worked together for a while now, right? And knowing Cheyenne is, is not New York City. I can't do the same thing in New York City as I can in Cheyenne, right? And so there's like a whole bunch of things. It's not Seattle. And so, there's Laramie as in the town, but there's also Laramie County. So how do you market and target those people in the right areas as well too, right? So getting to know you and taking an interest in what, who you are as an agent is super important. The third one I say is, making sure that they're not a one-trick pony, because, I get so many questions often. Hey, should I do Facebook or should I do Google? And my response is, it depends on your market. And sometimes, more often than not, it's a combination of what I call 1-2 punch. Like I said before, you can't just do marketing one time, but you've got to run several campaigns going on at any given time. And so I might hit them up on Google, and I'll retarget them on Facebook, and even do additional Google campaigns on top of that too. And so those are things that you can't have a one-trick pony, right? And so it's just a combination of having a whole bunch of different tools for different purposes. I even use LinkedIn for commercial properties, commercial real estate agents. Those are effective for that, and I can talk a lot more, and we will talk more about when to do Google ads and when to do Facebook as well too, right? Thoughts on that too? I mean, you hired me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, uh, at the end of the day, like you need to have longevity with these things, and you've got to mix it up and you've got to figure out what works, because ultimately when you're hiring a marketing agency, you're hiring a partner essentially, and you've got to give feedback and you've got to work together,
Yeah.
rather than having just some static marketing agency that, when you have issues and you're trying to have conversation about the results, that they just say, they keep giving you the same answers over and over again. Well, obviously you're not working together to get the desired result, and ultimately, there's only so much can happen on the marketing front on the front end, because the agent has to do their job too.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the reflection of a marketing agency is the ability for them to generate the names, numbers, phone number, email addresses, and then it's ultimately your job as the agent to do the follow-up on the back end. And that's what this podcast is really about, is you got to do the work, guys. Like, if you're getting results and you're not getting closings, it's not because you're not getting what you paid for. You're not getting it because you're not doing your part, because it's a
Yeah.
partner, really. I mean, you suck at marketing. That's why you hire a marketing agency. So why is it that, if you suck at follow-up, you need to hire a VA,
Yeah.
or several? That's really what it comes down to. But then you got to also figure out there's other parts of this too that we can go into in another episode about KPIs and things like that, where, you really got to track all your numbers, because you got to decide whether, do you want to be a little fish or you want to be a big fish? If you want to be a big fish, you've got to spend big money, and big money gets you big dollars. So it's, it's all relative.
Taking a sip of my alcohol. I'm just kidding. It's water. I want to just jump on what you just said. It's the last question I would look for in a team is actually not about the team, but are you ready? Are you ready to take on to do all the follow-ups? Do you have the tools? Do you have the people to do all the follow-ups? Because if you're not, this is where I guide and talk to them like, hey, what technologies do you have? Do you have a CRM? Do you have a campaign, a tool to kind of do the drip campaigns? Or in my case, we've got the AI to follow up with with those leads, right? And that's where you need to kind of be able to kind of have the right people, whether it be, you know, a CRM, be a some sort of drip campaign, the tool that can help you with the drip campaigns, or a VA, which is expensive, or some sort of AI, Sparky, to help you with that, right?
And if you need, you know, custom campaigns that have your personality in there, then, you know, you can hire, you know, a company like Field Notes to help you customize that for a fee, obviously. But you know, the thing about it is like, you know, any technology that you choose, this is not a short-term game. Like, you guys got to commit. Like, you can't chase every shiny object. I just did a top 10 reasons why real estate agents are not successful. And if you want a copy of that video, DM me and I'll send you that video. But it is the top 10 reasons why real estate agents are not successful. And there's some good nuggets of information in there. And it really just comes down to a few basic things and to be successful. And yet we always miss the obvious,
which is follow up.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and we covered this in another episode, that most of your sales are made after the 5th through the 13th follow up. But why do we? Because we don't care. We obviously don't care about our business, but yet we're in the business.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Just saying. Totally. So if you want to upscale your business, let us know. I think that's a good way to wrap, huh?
Yeah, that's good. It's great nuggets to share tonight.
Absolutely. Well, this has been another good episode, Keck. And for those of you guys who want to reach out to us, you can reach out to Keck at www.fieldnotes.ai. He will give you his number. What's your number, Keck?
425-740-0260. There
you go. Give him a text, shoot him an email, or just fill out one of his lead capture forms on the website. Or you can reach out to me, JP Fluellen, at www.tightenarteteam.com, or you can just shoot me a text at 307-772-1184. And this has been another episode of Real in the Field. Catch you guys on the next one.
See ya.